Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to stay healthy while playing hacky sack. Freestyle footbag or professional hacky sack is a very athletic sport, and it's really important to warm up properly, to feel better, but also play better. So the first thing I'd say to do is not just jump out of bed and start playing, just start moving around and do some light cardio to get the legs moving, get the blood flowing. So go for a walk, even a nice little jog for like 5-10 minutes, something like that. And then just start hopping on your toes, right? Just start getting those toes and ankles warmed up. With footbag tricks, you always want to stay on your toes. You never want to rock on your heels while you play. You always want to stay on your toes. So just doing this, really good way to start warming up. I always do this before I play. Another thing you should do for your feet and ankles is ankle inversions. So just pointing your toes in and resting and stretching the outside of your ankle. This is something you can do throughout the day as much as you want, just to really give yourself that extra mobility in your ankles, really important. And just gently push on your ankle, try not to do it to where there's a lot of pain, just really gently, and then hold that for a while. You can even do a side stretch while you hold that. This really feels good up through here. Just holding that. And again, through every one of these exercises, you want to do it both sides to keep your body in balance. So we'll do the other side. And then eventually what you can work yourself up to is doing walkovers. So once you have this movement sort of comfortable, where you can pivot on the outside of your ankle, you can do walkovers with the bag. So catching the bag on the inside and doing this. Really fun trick to do. Now I'm going to move on to the legs with some dynamic stretches. Keep in mind that we're warming up, so we don't want to go too slow. So first we're going to start with some leg swings. You can hold on to something and just swing your leg back and forth, just gently at first, and eventually work up that mobility. You can just find the angle that works good for you, maybe side to side to target the adductors a little more, or front and back for the hip flexors, right? And then like kicking straight out for the hamstrings. So just do these, make sure to do both sides. And this is a great way to warm up the whole area of the hips. Everything around here is getting warmed up, right? Next we could do some knee raises. So this is probably the most important movement in footbag, is just picking up your knees. So something you can do is just pick up your knees like this, and then you can even hold that position and then do some ankle rotations with your toes pointed down. Just slowly move around your ankle and try to get that full range of motion. Great for the ankles. Also for the hip flexors, you can do some active lunges. So I recommend holding on to something still. And then you can do the lunge stretch, but you want to move with it. So I like to do this, right? Really contracting the glutes and the quads. And we're moving with the stretch, right? We're not just holding the stretch, we're moving with it, getting that blood flowing, getting that mobility. Next, you can do some active hamstring stretches by getting a step or something, and then just putting your heel up and then hinging at the hips. This is the most important thing for hamstring stuff, is you want to hinge your hips forward and then just like move with the stretch, right? So we're not just reaching for our toes, we're not arcing our back, we're hinging our hips and we're moving into it, right? We're feeling that stretch, we're activating it, we're warming it up. Try different like angles. And then what else you can do is, while keeping your hips hinged like that, you can do this sitting in a chair or standing up. A really good way to unlock your lower back is to just reach for the opposite side ankle. And just, again, we're moving with this. We're not just holding the stretch. We're moving with it, right? This is a really good way to help your lower back. Finish in the middle. Keeping those hips hinged, right? Really good. I also do something called foundation training. If you look that up on YouTube, really good for the back. Core and glute activation is really important too. I think everybody should do brain training for their core and their glutes. Very good for everybody. Anybody with chronic pain, that helps out a lot. Alright, so that's all I really have for the lower legs, so just shake it out, take a break, because this is active, this is a workout, right? So just take a break. Now I'm going to show you what I do for my upper body. So you'll notice I'm not giving you any amount of sets or reps for all of these. Just do a few breaths for each movement. If you want further direction, just look up each movement online. But what I'll do for my neck is I'll just start moving my neck around and then bringing the shoulder blades back and down and really focusing on good posture and crunching up the neck and the back muscles. Posture is very important. And then I like to do just some gentle cervical retractions. So just gently pulling the chin backwards with a little help from your fingers. And then to lock everything in place, we do back bends. Back bends are wonderful to lock your spine into place and even get some cracks going. So get yourself a foam roller. I like to elevate it with a pillow like this. And then we're just going to do gentle back bends. You can do it on a chair too, but the most important thing is keeping your hips stable on the ground. And then we're just going to hold our neck. Oh yeah, that feels good. I'm stiff this morning. Nice. Okay, now we're ready to start doing some more footbag specific movements. So the tabletop is just grabbing your ankle, right? What this does is opens up the hips, and it also helps you like get that ankle inversion like we did earlier, but in a more active way. So we're doing the tabletop. This feels really good on the hips, really good way to warm up the hips, opening them up. And like, again, like knee raises, this is the most important movement, is picking your knee up and getting that ankle inversion. This is the most important thing. Then we can just start doing the motions of kicking without the bag. So just kicking your hand, using proper form. Make sure you watch my tutorials to learn proper form. But yeah, just visualize, just do the movements without the bag. You know, you don't have to go for your record every time you kick. Just practice. Learn the motions. Learn the stall motion with the toes up. Just get the motions going and really understand the body mechanics that you're about to partake in. And then go ahead, just kick the bag. Throw in some just kicks to hand catch. See how you feel. Then whenever you feel like you're ready for your hard session, you can start training. I recommend not training more than a couple hours, especially when starting out. Take multiple rest days per week. That's the easiest way to injure yourself, is overtraining. And then if you feel any sharp pains at all, stop immediately. Use the Rice method. And then after you're done training, make sure to rehydrate with electrolytes and spring water. Purified water is not good for you. And then you can just do some stretches, some static stretches, or follow a yoga tutorial. Yoga is a great way to relax after a hard workout session and cool down, you know. So just go for a light walk, do some stretches, do some yoga, and really calm down the central nervous system. And then again, rehydrate and make sure you get lots of carbs and protein. Obviously, having a healthy diet consistently is very important in general, but as an athlete, it's extremely important to be able to perform better. And before you play, just have a really light meal. Then after you play, really get those carbs and protein. But yeah, do whatever feels good for your body. There's a lot of cross training and strengthening you can do. But honestly, to get good at footbag, you just have to play footbag. One last thing, make sure you're always playing on a smooth, flat, dry surface. I generally avoid grass unless it's like golf course grass, turf. So try to play on a good surface that gives you friction, but not too much friction that you twist your knee, right? So there is an ideal sort of playing surface, obviously, and any sort of gradient will throw you off. And most importantly, don't go saving the bag and doing some chasing after it in big drastic movements, because it's not worth it. You're gonna pull something doing that. I always hear stories about people injuring themselves, and that's what they're doing. They're drinking, they're out on wet grass, and they do some crazy movement. It's not worth it. Have control, okay? But that's about it. Feel free to DM me with any questions. Disclaimer, I am not a health professional. I am a hacky sack professional. But yeah, happy kicking, be safe, have fun, and try really hard.